Hey everybody, this is Coffee Chug and I'm here with another Python coding tutorial. This one we're going to take a look at how to create some art with code. And so for this one, it's kind of a four-part process leading you up into some really cool designs that you can kind of tweak your own, make your own cool designs, and more importantly, I really hope that you share them with me because I know you're going to create way better art designs than what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to name this art demo for the sake of this tutorial. And the first thing that we're going to do is I want to show you how to create just a simple shape. This is very similar if you've done stuff in Scratch programming and creating art that way. We've made mathematical art or geometric art in Scratch. This is somewhat pretty similar. So we're going to do what we've been doing in some of the previous tutorials, and we're going to bring in the turtle so we can do some turtle coding. And we're going to make the shape of our object. Let's make him the turtle. Just because the turtle's the coolest of the shapes that you can get with. And we're just going to do a simple thing here where we're going to move in a range. And we're going to pick a range of 6, meaning it's going to do this 6 times. And 6 times, we're going to go forward 50. Let's just pick 50. And we're going to head left. Let's see. Let's go 360 divided by 6. So that's going to be what? 60 degrees. So when we run this, you're going to see that the turtle is moving forward 50 degrees. It's going to turn 60. It's going to move forward 50 degrees, turn 60 degrees, and it's going to do this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted to create a different shape, so maybe I did not want a hexagon, I could do a star. Or excuse me, let's do a square. So we know a square has 4 sides, so we could go forward 50 still. But this time, we don't want it here, right? Because we want to be able to do it 4 times. I know that a square has 90-degree angles, but for the sake of math, in case you're not sure what the angles are, you just put the sides of the shape and divide it by 360. Because we need the turtle to go in a complete 360-degree pattern. So if I were to run this, we're going to have a square. So, if I ran this 5 times through, you're not going to see any difference. It's just going to copy and paste over that line. So you see that? So what happens here is, let's say I make this a 6 and I run this 5 times, we're going to have an incomplete hexagon because we've only ran the loop 5 times and we know that it has 6 shapes. And so as we run this, I could do an 8-sided shape here, and it's going to do the math for me. So we're letting the programming do the calculations by going this route. Okay, so there's how we make a basic shape. So let's do this. Let's go through and make let's make a star. Okay, so let me show you how to do something besides a square or a hexagon. Those seem to be pretty simple things that people use all the time. So we're going to fill this star. So we're going to use this line here, begin underscore fill, and we're going to fill it, and we're going to make this a size of 100, and we're going to move in a range, and we're going to make this range a 9 because this will loop 9 times because I know to prior experience that we're going to need 9 sides for the star. And we're going to go forward the size. All right, so I'm going to make a comment in here. So whatever we type for the size variable is the size of the star we're going to get. And then we're going to go right 160 degrees. All right, so this is going to turn right 160 degrees. You can do the math, or you can do a simple Google search for angles and degrees to figure this out. Okay, so whatever I type in here for the size is going to impact how big of a star it's going to be. So if I make this size 10, it's going to be a tiny star. If I make it 100, it's going to be bigger. And when we go to run this, oh no, we've got a glitch in the system. Bad input line. Oh no, on line 6. So, does anybody catch what it is? Anyone, anyone, anyone? It's our colons. All right, so now we run this. So what the turtle is doing, it's going forward 100. It's turning 160 degrees. And as it goes through, it's going to, we can run this like this. It's going to make this star pattern. So the question that we have, I jumped ahead of myself in that previous one, is what if we wanted to fill this with color? So this is a cool looking star, but let's say I want it all in one color. So check this out. Here's what we can do. Underneath the shape, I'm going to type in color. And what I can do is I can fill in two options here. So I'm going to go green, and then I'm also going to go, let's go purple. I think that'll work. Yeah. And so just so you understand what we're doing here, this is going to make the turtle draw green lines with a purple fill. So when we put two colors in here, the first color is going to be the line that the turtle creates. The purple or whatever color you put in there is going to be the fill. And so what I can do, Trinket on their website, trinket.io/docs/colors, has all the colors that are available. And you can click in here and it will tell you the name that you can type in, or you can type in the hex code. Either way, it doesn't really matter how you want to put those in there, but just realize you have access to a lot of different colors in your palette. So we're going to do green and purple for this one. We're going to keep the size the same, but we've got to add one more line here. We've got to end this fill. We don't want this to keep going on forever if we started to write more advanced code down the line. So we're going to end this fill. All right. And now when we run this, we should have a green star. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, looking good, almost complete. Oh, it didn't fill. Why? Oh, that's right. Because we left out the begin fill. I deleted that previously, didn't I? Now you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is driving me crazy. I'm putting those in there so we can kind of debug and troubleshoot so you can bring some highlights to the coding. Or maybe I've just had a complete brain fart. Who knows, right? You'll never know. There we go. Now we've got a fill. Green outline with a purple fill for the star. So now as we start to keep thinking through this, what are some other things that we can do? So you can start to create shapes and fill and play around with those colors. That's really, really exciting. But let's jump into another type of project. So we can start to create like an art loop spiral. And so now we're going to keep this the same. I'm going to change my colors just because I want it to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to keep a black outline and we're going to do, let's do a red fill. All right. And now as we keep this begin fill, size 100, I'm going to knock these out of here and check this out. Let's do a spiral. So we're going to go forward. Let's see, 120, and then we're going to go back 60, and then we're going to go right 6, we're going to go back 50, pen down, and then we're going to go left 24. So now when we run this, you can see that I'm creating this kind of crazy looking design. All right, and it's going to do this 9 times, kind of creating this spiral. And so I could change this here. I could make this, let's make it 15. So you can start to play around with these numbers, changing the angle of how forward they go or backwards to the right or to the left, and we can start to create some really cool patterns. So let's go a few more. Let's go 20 here. Let's run this. And so as you start to think about your codes and commands of what you want it to do, we can start to take a look at different kind of things that we want to make. And so as this is going through here, I'm going to try to see if I can get this all the way to 20 here so it looks sharp. Oh, perfect. Now that's a good looking shape. I really like that. So you can start to play around with different types of patterns and things that we can make by using these loops and having your turtle move in a variety of different directions. All right. So let's look at a couple other options for you as we start to think about other ways in which we can create some art. So I'm going to knock all this out. We're going to go right back to start here. And I'm going to make the width 10. This is going to make my pen line really, really thick. And I'm going to define a square here this time. And so this is going to create a function. And what we're going to do is for the side in range, we're going to make this 4 times. All right, we're going to go forward 100. And then we're going to go right, you can probably guess this by now, 90 degrees. So now I can go over here and I can call this function whatever I want. Here's a square. All right, so this is going to call the function to run. And then now I'm just going to put in a we can use our function in our code. Okay, so check this out. We can go color. I'm gonna stick with the same colors, that black and red. That looked really sharp. So we're gonna go black. We're gonna go red. All right, black being the outline, red being the fill. We're gonna do the begin fill again, and we're gonna go 4 times in the range. Let's do this 6 times. This time, check this. We're gonna pull in our square. So now 6 times it's going to draw the square. 6 times it's going to come here and it's going to run square. I put my parentheses, which means it's going to do this. It's going to go forward 100 and right 90. It's going to do this 4 times. Once it kicks out of that square, then I'm going to have the turtle turn to the right. I don't know. Let's just pick. Let's pick. I don't know. 72. I don't know. Let's just see what happens here. End fill. So what's going to happen here? This is really, really important for you to check out if you haven't done this before. It's going to do this loop 6 times like we've been doing. It's going to go here and run this square. And then the square, 1 time, it's going to run this loop 4 times. It's going to go forward 100, turn right, forward, right, forward, right, forward, right. And then it's going to turn the turtle 72 degrees. Then it's going to come back up here and it's going to say there was 1. And it's going to do it again and again and again. So can you make a prediction of what's going to happen? Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, I always forget the colon. Uh-oh, I deleted my stuff. I didn't want to do that. Here we go. Colon. Boom. Shaka. Laka. So there's our square. All right, and so as we go through here, it's going to make these patterns. It's going to fill this in. And then we should get a nice red fill when we're all done. There you go. So now we can start to create some really, really cool pieces of art, and you can start to mess around with some things. And so, like here's one that I made. So I'm just actually, for the sake of time, I call this one Sunflower. So I've added a speed block just to make it go a little bit faster. I've reduced the width just to be a little skinnier, so the lines aren't going to be thick like we just had. And now I'm defining another function here, this time called hex for hexagon. So I'm making my own hexagon as it goes through here. Just like we did with the square in the previous video, I'm making the outline yellow and the inside black. And we're going to do this, and I'm going to run this loop 36 times. So it's going to make a hexagon, it's going to turn right 150. Make a hexagon, turn right 150. So now when we run this, it's going to loop through here. Now, the one thing that I have yet to be able to figure out, and maybe you can help me with this, is why does that first one always show up black? But in the end, here's our beautiful, beautiful sunflower. Doesn't it look just marvelous? And then you can start to do some other kind of cool things too. So as you start to create things, you can start to create some abstract patterns. You can start to do all sorts of goofy things, but just moving these numbers around. So as you start to think about things, think about what your art's going to be. And when you create something cool, screenshot it and share it with me. I really, 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 really want to see your work. I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to make something even better than the sunflower. But until then, you rock, you roll, you make your art. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. A couple things on how we can use Python to create some really cool art. Don't forget to use the trinket.io /docs/colors to get all your cool color combos. And until next time, stay awesome.